Hi there, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawwalker, your host, and today we're going to be looking at this new release from Fluids Until It Shines. So at the time of writing, I was checking out what new music had released. It is a Friday after all, and it seems that Fluids, one of my favorite Goregrind bands, has quietly released this new album. I can't really find too much about this anywhere. The only place that they put this up is on their Bandcamp. Not even Encyclopedia Metallum has been updated yet, so I'm going to do my best with what I've got because this is kind of a cool album and I'd like to get this thing up pretty soon. So Fluids' last record, Not Dark Yet, I never actually did get around to reviewing. While I did enjoy it quite a bit, I found it pretty easy to tune out a lot of the songs. It really was their darkest, their slowest, and their most focused release. Many elements that I thought were actually quite a weak point for this band. I think I generally enjoy Fluids the most when they're at their most chaotic, and while Still Not Dark may not have delivered on that, Until It Shines is a very different story. At some points I can't really tell if a lot of these songs are like reworked material or even remixes of older songs, as there are a few songs here that seem to do a bit of a callback or even sample older material. Like Machine Noise directly rips off of the intro of Extorted off of Ignorance Exalted, but it seems like there's so much new here that this feels like mostly new material that's been hit with some older stuff to kind of fit this glitch-heavy, like vaporwave narrative chic that they're going with on this album. Though by no means would I call this anywhere near like vaporwave. It feels like they're adopting this aesthetic and bastardizing it for their own almost inverted use and running things to their logical extreme. The production on the tracks on this album is absolutely blown to bits. I mean, the bass is just completely ripping through the mix with some of the most distortion-heavy 808 hits I've ever heard. And the new vocalist for this band is fantastic as well. I didn't really get a chance to comment on him as I didn't and actually review the last album, but he blends his talents really seamlessly with the style of the last vocalist. It's kind of impressive that the whole transition has been so smooth, considering how incredibly intense some of these harsh parts get. I do also like that they've stuck with this odd naming structure for the songs here, with titles that imply the structure of the album, opening with Mysterious Music Fades, which actually kind of fakes you out with some heavy Machine Girl-like electronic music that gets overblown by the standard Fluids playbook of extreme noise and brutality to the absolute maximum. Actually, pretty much every song here does exactly what the title says. The second track, Gloomy Music Plays, while incredibly heavy, is a bit more moody. Sinister Music Plays is still gore and slam heavy, but is absolutely a more sinister track. Dramatic Music Plays, you get the idea. It does make it seem a bit redundant explaining the tracks, especially when the songs that don't use that title format still do exactly what you would expect those songs like Machine Noise to do, which is some of the highest tempo, harsh noise on this whole record. Go figure. I do appreciate that the track lengths are so condensed here, with the whole album running just shy of about 20 minutes. They really just get everything that these songs need to convey right in your face, and with blistering pace they blast you right through everything, and it works really well because if these songs went on much longer they would become completely redundant. I do also love at multiple times on this album the chopped up, almost remix heavy segments that pop up here and there. It introduces a really cool layer on top of the already loud and chaotic grind into the mix with a sound that I don't think anyone else has really ventured into in this genre. The whole album stays very firmly rooted in the familiar, with a limb outstretched into complete experimentation. There's a great understanding of how these songs should sound and how they've altered things to add an unnecessary but not unwelcome amount of flair. I think that this is a really interesting release for Fluids. Their album Ignorance Exalted really captured my attention when I first heard it, and through the many splits, EPs, albums, and singles that have released since I first heard these guys, I've been pretty entertained with this band. They've consistently been developing and refining their sound, and while I can't say that they've got a huge range of style, they do have a depth that most bands in this genre should be incredibly envious of. Until It Shines is a great example of a band taking unsure but firm footsteps into risky territory, and for the most part this release pays off. Until It Shines is a great 7. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the album below, and if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to help out the channel further, you can also check out the Reverb store, and the Instagram links to those are in the description below. Thank you all so much again, and we'll see you on the flip side.